All right, sweet. I think it's working. I think it's working. I even see volume knobs or volume bars going up and down. So I think I got it right on the very first track. All right. Today I pose the question: is the 20X a viable swap into a USDM car? Now I know on many occasions I have posted, do not send me your 20X. I don't want to fucking tune it in your WRX or in your Legacy GT or whatever, and that still stands. Um, Mainly because most of those people are fucking doing it wrong. And every time someone emails me for one, I say, "Did you delete the AVCS?" And like, I unplugged it. I'm like, all right, well, like I said, you're doing it wrong. I told one guy he probably did the install wrong, and he fucking got super offended, cussed me out, called me a bunch of names and everything else. And then when I asked him if he, oopsie, sorry. And I asked him if he had done the exhaust AVCS. He said no. And I was like, well, why are you cussing me out when you're clearly wrong? So, anyways, here I am in an '08 STI with a 20X and a Link G4. This guy's motor was a complete loss, complete failure. Every part was destroyed in it, and he would have to get new heads, new block, new cams, new everything. And his bunch of other stuff was messed up on it. So like it would have been like $15,000 to get this STI running again. And obviously that's silly because you could buy another STI at $15,000 sometimes. So Lane said, well, let's throw a 20X in it and a Link because it'll cost you a lot less. And so that's what we did. I say we, they did. I'm just the tuner, right? My job's the tuning. So I spent about an hour or so this morning setting a base map up for this, getting all of the O2 sensors, map sensors, and everything. I forgot to calibrate TPS, but I think it's already good. Yeah, it's already good. Look at that. I should run the TPS cal one more time, though, just to verify. I don't know how it's good. I didn't even run it, and this is drive-by-wire. I'm actually really surprised it came that close from Link. Considering how much stuff I had to change because I didn't like it, I'm actually really impressed that this part was already done. Let's just do that real quick. And we go. Wait, did they move it? It did move a little bit. Interesting. Okay. All right. And let's do this one. Press pedal down. And then hit the next. Then release. And hit the next. Cal complete. Okay, so now it's all good. And we take it, leave the setup mode, go back to operational, save our datas. All right, start it again. Starts decent. I could tweak the idle a smidge on the startup, but other than that, it fires it pretty good for the base map. I have yet to even spin on the rollers. Oh man, I feel like I'm a mile from these pedals. There we go. All right, let's see here. I got 10 people here. I don't see any messages, so I assume everything's good. Our audio is good. Everything's good. Lambda's good. You see here we're within 1 point something percent of our target, which is good news. Our VE is like 60 something percent. It seems a little high to me, but I mean, it's a 2 liter. They do behave a little different than the 2.5s. Nice, thank you. Appreciate the heads up there, or the status report. I'm gonna. Oh, I do want to change this though. That's one thing I didn't want to change. So from the factory, Subaru runs the drive-by-wire system at 500 hertz. You'll see here it's set at 1,000. Most manufacturers run 1,000 hertz. The thing is that the lower the frequency, the more potential power you have in the throttle body. So you may have heard some race car guys that are running their LSs boosted or whatever, and they have issues with boost shutting the throttle on them. So they have to go to cable throttle. Now that's due to the fact that the motor is not producing enough torque, that when the blade in the airstream is fluttering and starts to move some, that the pressure differential shuts it. Well, if you go to a lower frequency, you get more current through the motor and you get more power and better control over it. So Subaru runs 500. Everybody else runs 1,000. It's really interesting. Sometimes, hey Mike, sometimes I have cars that show up um, that have weird idle issues, or the throttle blade like sits in a spot and then like moves a little bit, and then the idle goes up, and then the commanded is going down, but the throttle's not moving, and then it goes down a little bit. And changing the frequency helps with that. Now this one has been idling pretty good. I haven't seen any issues with it, and I don't know. But next time I go turn the car off, I'm going to set that to 500 because that's what the factory wants, and these throttle eyes work really good there. But right now it seems pretty decent. So now we're going back to idle control. I'm going to see how it's set. This is actually on their base map. They have it based like this. And we see we got 2.0 right now, and our base is 2.6. So it means we should get a little bit of flare. So you got some 3 here. So dash pot's active. Then it goes to 2.6, which is the base, and then it goes down in closed loop to catch the idle. And that's great. The TAC goes up and flares a smidge, comes down to idle, recovers pretty nicely. There's a little bit of a dip. I want to catch that dip a little better, so I'm going to see what settings we got in here. This is a little, I want to go a little more than that. We're going to go 75. This guy is a 2-liter, so we're going to add some timing to the base, to the target idle. I'm going to add some derivative. I like derivative on my timing. I like what it does to help stabilize idle. Oh yeah, that was nice. Oh, a little flare, a little extra flare at the end there. Still a little bit of a dip and some flare, so we're going to add a little more of this. I'm going to bump this down to 0.9. See if that helps. Flare, a little dip, and still a wiggle. All right, so we're going to adjust the dash pot. That's under idle actuator here, so we're going to idle actuator. Now, if you don't know what dash pot is, dash pot, it used to be a mechanical thing on carburetor linkage. It was literally a little vacuum diaphragm with a spring in it and a little post. And when you revved it, it would extend, and you let off, and the carb linkage would hit the thing, and it'd go and then bleed off back down to the idle. So it gave you a temporary higher than your normal idle setting. So as the engine revved down, if you were at idle, just go and die on you. Or you didn't have to have an artificially high idle to catch an idle that was coming down. So it hold the throttle linkage above the normal idle position. So it would come up and then bleed off like that. And so they simulate that here in the computer by artificially inflating the throttle position. So I'm going to set it higher. I'm going to set it at 0.5%. And so it'll hold it at 0.5% for half a second, and then in the next 0.4 seconds it'll decay. I'll make this 1 second so we can see it a little better. And then you watch this throttle here. So I let off. Now you see it's 3.2, which is higher than before. And you see it flared a little bit, and it slowly came down. And that actually worked out really well, actually. Better than I thought it would. Oh, yeah, that's really good. Okay, well, my guesstimate setting nailed it. Let's do it again. Comes down a little bit of, yeah, that's fucking great. Okay, cool. So that is our new setting. There's better alternative for the legacy Durex JDM 205 plus manifold and single ABCS. Yeah, I mean the 20 XY, they have one of them that's also single ABCS. You can still get them in single ABCS, and they're still called 20X, 20Y, or whatever, and they're perfectly fine. And in this case, this is a X and an STI, so I got all 4 cams working. I calibrated the cams already, so they're good to go. They seem to be working all right. Oh, that might be a lie. I didn't check the exhaust cams. I only checked the intake cams. Let's go to exhaust cam. Slide this over a smidge so I get to the edge of my screen. Keep them locked out. Oh, okay, okay. Hit live. Hit it again. Oopsie, that button. All right, so we're gonna go right here. We've got our target, -30, and they're 8777, so it's pretty close. I don't have any jitter though. That's an important thing to see as well. They don't have like the sawtooth pattern happening on the position. That's really good. If you have excessive derivative or even proportional, any of them, even too big, you can generate a sawtooth. Derivative for sure though. Derivative easily generates a sawtooth. It's a little laggy coming up. The target comes up quick, and the cams are a little laggy behind it. Engine RPM comes up. They don't even catch up until almost $3,000. Wow, that's interesting. Now these solenoids are only going to 40%. No, that's at 70. Oh, okay. Wow, that's a little laggy to go to 70 and take that long to advance. Typically a little better than that. Now the intakes are tracking with each other very closely. That's a good sign because we can pick up solenoid differences when they start to not track close. These track really close too. That's good. So these solenoids are good for sure. It's just interesting that's that laggy. It took 70%. It took that long to even get up to the target. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. The issue with this here, I probably have to reduce the target in this area. There is a problem with that. And I want to cover this. This car is currently speed density. And so I'm tuning the fuel map or the VE table based on steady state operations. So what happens if I get to this spot, steady state, and bam, I hit this AVCS target, it says time for it to do it. And I set the VE on that, but when I'm doing things like revving it or driving it through that zone, if the cam system can't respond fast enough to it, the cams won't be in the right spot, and my VE that I have in my table won't be accurate. So one thing that's important to do is to try and keep your target to something that's even achievable. If you have too much of an error like this, you may have issues with it going. Now, the bright side is it's probably too rich in this situation that I described. But yeah, that target probably goes up a little quick. So I could slow that target down some so that it's in a more reasonable position. But at 2,000, I want it to be like 2,500 to 30. This thing's already at 40. So still, it ain't hitting that 25 degrees. I said 25 degree target, but I do want to lower it down. This 40 is a little high right there. Right here, actually. 25. And then right here in cruise, we'd like a lot. I should make that 130. Whoopsie, not 300. We go 30 here, like this. Like that. I should slow it down a smidge. And, but it still won't be perfect. The system won't get there. Like I said, we saw 70% on the solenoid duty and the bank one duty. 70% still was enough to get them up there fast enough. So it's not going to hit it. But we do want more advanced than this achieved during a rev in steady state because we do want it to have a lot of overlap in cruise to get our Miller cycle going. What are we at? We're 300 hertz. Sometimes we run these lower. Sometimes we run these like 200. And 200 hertz sometimes, let's see, sometimes can help us hit a target faster. Again, that whole current thing. The valve spends more time. No, I mean, it's not a lot more time, really. It just means that if I have it triggering really, really fast, that valve might not be fully opening. And it might just be in like a partial position when you trigger it. You give it a longer, slower frequency, has more time to actually hit full open. And sometimes it helps push more oil through. But it doesn't. Let's see what we get here. Here's 2300, and we got the 20 degrees at 2300. Okay, let's go to 300 see that change. So 20 degrees At 2300 is what we got at 200. 20 degrees, 2300. Let's make this 300. $15 at 2230. Oops, it's 2300. So basically right here, and 15 degrees. So, oopsie, hit the wrong button. I was trying to zoom in on that range so we get more finite control over it. Where the sample rate? Look at that. So at 2230 it was 16. At 25 it was 25. So it seemed like it was a smidge slower, but it's hard to tell because the resolution is pretty poor right there in that log. Don't know why it's so bad. Usually the link is much quicker than that. Mtron would have given us like 2230, 2235, 2242. Like we'd had insane amount of resolution on that. I'm gonna keep it 200 though. I'm gonna do that. See how that operates today. Now this stream's gonna be relatively short. I got an appointment at 12:15, so I'll be leaving here just before noon. Well, I say short, so that's still an hour and a half. Or so. So let's see. All right, so we're going to work on our VE table now. That's what we got to work on, the VE map. It's an important part. So we go to fuel. We're going to go over here to fuel. Fuel tune. Here's our VE table. And that's what we're going to work on. It feels really smooth. Got some big lambda swings in there. Some of that's probably because my closed loop settings are really aggressive. And some of that's going to be the fact that we just haven't set this table up yet. Oh, before I do that, I got to calibrate the dyno for 60 mile per hour. Let's do that first. Fourth gear, 60. Well, changing the engine didn't change the transmission gear ratio, as it turns out. I had a customer ask me one time what I changed his gear ratios to in his transmission. And I was like, what? He swears to God, I changed his transmission in his tune because RPMs are different when he was driving on the freeway. I'm like, no, that definitely didn't happen. It's pretty comical, though. Pretty comical. What's up?
How do we get that TV working?
You just turn. Oh, it's not plugged in. Hey, pull that screen this way some. Pull the screen up. Thank you. I had a big glare on the light. Is the O2 in it?
No.
Oh, okay. I have O2 in here. It doesn't matter. I have O2 on here, so it's all right.
Don't need it?
Yeah. All right. I'm setting my RPM. My vehicle speed at 35 miles an hour limit on the dyno. So there we go. It's the dyno limit is to 35 right there. So now we're gonna sit. We're gonna park ourselves right here in the spot on the VE table for a little while. Let everything stabilize. See how far off we are. Right now it's looking like 9%. Oh shit. Also long term is. Oh, it's right there. Okay. There's long term. Here's short term. So almost 10% off. That's a lot. Wish I could read that. What is the overlay for login? I forget. So it's saying almost 10% off right now. That's surprising. I wouldn't think we'd only have 70% VE at this RV. Now, that being said, I did say I wanted a bunch of overlap in cruise. So here's our intake target. We're at 30. Let's go to our exhaust target real quick. -20. So we do have a lot of overlap right now. But this is almost a manifold pressure, or atmospheric pressure. So that's a little too much overlap right here because atmospheric pressure, you want to start making some torque. And this much overlap on the exhaust is going to hurt that. Yeah. It's a little too much right here in this region combined. Just a smidge too much though. Oh yeah, that's gonna be annoying for you guys, isn't it? Plug the seatbelt in. There you go. Back to fuel. Still surprised at that. I don't like that. Let's see. Do I have my fuel? Oh, what's my density of my fuel? That's a little low. That should probably be 725. It's a little closer to what we have for fuel here, between 720 and 730. That's going to mess up my idle fueling a smidge. Ten percent ethanol is a stoichiometric ratio of 14:1:3. So that's it. Just interestingly enough, it says it's 10% high. That now we're at 8% high. Huh? I don't like that. 12% right here. Let's knock this down. Now I have to remind myself this is a 2-liter, not a 2.5. They do move air differently. There will be differences in the shape of the VE curve between a 2-liter and a 2.5. But being a 2-liter doesn't make it get poor VE through the whole range. You'll just have a peaky, the VE will be a little higher. The peak VE will occur at a higher RPM. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Because of the change in the bottom end geometry. Okay, so now we're about 5%. I'm fine with that for now. Our IET is a little high anyway, so probably tweak that a little bit. Giving her some throttle now. I'm just moving to a higher load range. And then 3% there. Okay, that's full on. My foot is on the floor, which is interesting. That with my foot to the floor, it's not capable of any boost. I find that peculiar. I mean, it's a little bit of boost. I got 1 pound of boost right now. Huh. Interesting. With all that cam overlap and all that throttle, only do 1 pound of boost at 2 grand. Now that's clearly different than an STI, right, guys? Let's go to 3rd gear. It's gonna bump the RPMs up. There we go. RPMs are higher. We're gonna hold here stable for a little while. So now we're a little light on the fuel. See, now it says we're lean by a little bit. So we were probably catching some fuel rail resonance in that previous spot that we were just in. That happens. A little bit of resonance in the rail or with the tube pressure regulator. Okay, now we're in boost. We got a little boost. It's forming now, so that's pretty good. It's richening up like we want with the boosts coming in. It's negative 5%. I like that. See, I prefer to write the fuel map a smidge on the rich side, just a little rich. So it's always a smidge rich, and the oxygen sensor is, as long as it's functioning, doing its job, it's pulling the fuel down a smidge. I'm happy with it pulling fuel down. I don't like it when it has to add fuel. That's definitely not where I want to be. We'll give it a second to cool down some. But from 20 something hundred to 3 grand, you saw a big change amount of boost it started to create. So we know already it's going to be laggier than a STI. But oh, this engine, I should probably clarify what we did. It has the STI turbo on it. It has the USDM headers, turbo up pipe, intercooler, intake manifold, and everything. It's only the 2-liter long block. So the fuel system, the turbo system, everything is the USDM STI stuff. They only have the long block in here. Even the coolant crossover had to get swapped over. It just doesn't fit them in the manifold and all of that. So it's just two-liter long block with all the STI parts. That's why it's that laggy. Because typically, right, you'd see the twin scroll system producing a lot of boost by then. But it doesn't. Now, that being said, an AVCS 2-liter on a VF is usually pretty fun. And we're going to see how good it is on this. I know that my 205, my single AVCS 205 at my car with a VF on it, and the STI top mount is a blast. And I feel like it even makes boost faster than this has done so far. But some changes in the cam timing could help us with boost production. All right, engine temp drop down 93, so I'm going to start loading it in. Get more throttle here. All right. Felt a little bit of shake and oscillation. I should probably check that I did the knock system correctly in case it started to knock on us for some reason. Air fuels are nice and rich. Had a few pounds of boost. Timing should be pretty conservative. I got pulled down a lot. At least I think I do. Let's double check because I have it set right here. So we were down. Not that conservative. Yeah, right here. 21, 18. It's 2-liter. They tend to like a little more timing than the 2.5s. So I added some time to the map, but that could be a smidge much. We'll see. Let me go back to the knock system real quick. I didn't change it for a 2-liter. I didn't hear anything, but it's probably a good idea. Especially if I'm experimenting with it, doing stuff. There it is. Like, where did I go? I lost it. That does make sense. Why'd you turn it off at fucking 2500? I like 15. But also, you don't need it over 7. Doesn't even work over 7. Actually, 6700 is more than enough for a 2-liter. TPS though lockout. Basically, they don't want to happen in idle. I dig that. I actually go to 7%. They don't want to happen during tip in. That's good. 15 degrees after ignition. Now, we need a little more than that on the Subaru. And we don't need a 50-degree window. 8 kilohertz narrow. That's pretty close for a 2-liter. It's usually 8 or 9. Knock mode. What a normalized ignition. Oh, interesting. 2 degree pull on a knock event. That's a little aggressive, but it's got to be the 141, right? So I can match all the memes. Hey, dude. Hey, Jordy. I know what you said, but it got retracted. I don't know. Keep it clean. There's no kids here. I'm just kidding. I don't give a shit what you say. Just don't say anything racist or mean to anybody. Unless it's to me. Then you can say it. But only live. People that come in and talk shit after the video is posted, bitches. All right. Let's see. So this was saying before. Wait, when did I log that? That was just while cruising. All right, so we got to see if this is. Oh, that's our cylinder levels. That seems high already. Oh, okay, that's the voltage. What's the gain setup on this thing? Seems all right. I don't see the gain works. It's how normalized. I forgot. All right, I'm going to. Let's do a little bit of a poll, like a little like partial throttle poll, just so I can get a sweep and see how close my VE map is. It was remarkably close in those positions that we checked it already. So I'm gonna try and get the higher RPM stuff. way rich. All right. That was super rich. Oops. All right. Let's go see how rich we are and pull that shit out. I saw sixes in the Lambda. 697, 688. That's a smidge rich. What else we got going on here? Got the 14 pounds of boost. Total times 3.4. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, injectors at 21 milliseconds at 3,900 RPM. Yeah, it's a little rich. All right. 13 degrees. Ain't shit. The timing, really. It's not bad at all. I wonder if they thought it was knocking there. It, is that level or not? No, that's just level. Okay. It's not pulling any timing there. We've not crossed the knock threshold. Right? Or do where are we at? Trim zeros. There it is. Okay. But that one there might be an event. That's a 10 times increase. So cylinder 4 right there might have tossed an event at us. It looks like cylinder 3 did too. So those two are events. I'm not seeing any correction though on that. So I'm going to trim. So we definitely want to enable that. Let's see. Why did it not do it? Emission retard limit 0. Oh, well that'll do it. 5. -5. There we go. Okay, so I think that's what happened. I think it didn't. That right there stopped it. Okay, so we got that part. Now let's go to the fuel map. Just get my log here at the richest point. The cool thing about Lambda is this. My Lambda target, the ECU is commanding 79.4. That's a good number. That's a good way of saying that, really. 0.794. And we hit 68.9. Again, I'm really speaking awesome. That's 689 or 0.689. That's a difference of 11, almost 11%. You can just look at it right here and and see what percentage difference that is. Is that right? Almost 11, 60, yeah, almost 11%. Hey Dom, check out my build on the Discord. It turned out wicked. Yeah, dude, I will for sure. I will check it out. I obviously can't do it right now unless I'm supposed to share it live for people, which I can do. I can share it live. Let's see. Come on, computer. Yeah, message request somebody. Somebody sent me a message. Okay. Discord. Let me bring this up here on the OBX action. Move this on the way. Where is my laptop? There we go. Bring that up. Like so. Bring up the Discord. Live stream notification. Hey, that's me. I'm doing stuff. All right, and we'll go to Jordy's build. I don't see it. Where's it at? Discussions. Engine building? I don't think you're talking engine building, right? No. Should be car builds. Car builds. Forum. There we go. Jordy. Oh, yeah, that's sweet. That is nice torque. I bet that rips. Bet that rips, dude. That looks good. What's that say? 340 something? Oh, there it is. 344. 344 with 338 foot-pounds, but flat. Just, it's good. I love the curves like that because it looks almost like an NA car from here up. Obviously, right here, just ignore that. Pay no attention to the man behind the 3,000 RPM curtain. But yeah, it looks like an NA car, in this part of the curve, and I really dig that. Looks good, dude. I like car's a cool color. My wife hates blue. But that looks good. Looks good, man. Bring it down to the U.S. and come take me for a ride. I'm not allowed to go into Canada, so I am banned from Canuckistan. Anyways, all right. So this point here, so what we see here from the Lambda is that I am off by 11%. Now, in addition to that, the closed loop system was also pulling 5%. So I'm off 16% right there. See, here's 5% being pulled and 11% off of target for my Lambda. So I got 16% fuel to pull out of that spot. So let's go to the fuel map, take a look and see where I am on that spot. I got to click my thing here, bring up the crosshairs right there. So I am 16% rich through much of this region. So let's just select this, and we're going to percentage that. So I hit the wrong button. We're going to go point. It's not 0. What's going on here? Oh, I'm in the fucking parameters page for some reason. Okay, I'll try it again. 0.84 multiply. I get rid of the equals. I'm going to go like this. There we go. Now that is fucked up. Why are these VE numbers so low? I mean, the whole thing is low, but why is it that low? I don't know. I don't like it. I'm going to blend this anyways, just to here. I'm just going to do this, and we're going to go to the zone again and see what happens. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go and do the same thing, 0.88, well, 12%. Well, that didn't work. I screwed up. Let's go back. Go 0.8, pull 12% out of there, and go like this. And we're going to hit those zones again real quick and see if I am indeed that fucking rich. I don't like that the VE is only 90% here. Something doesn't seem right. You fucking twat. God damn it. That log thing came up and that warning came up and fucked me up. So I don't have the log right there. I'm going to close this log. I'm going to close this one and go back to the one I tried to do. Come on. Is it? 37. Lambda. So I'm going to get rich. Maybe this one. Let's close this one too. I'm just going to do it again. Close all log files. Let's try it again. It obviously got rich as balls again. As you saw, I even got a warning for high injector duty cycle. 67. See, I'm still. Nothing changed. Why did nothing change? It's the exact same values. I think it says read memo text, and to do that, you click on this or you hit Control M, and it's fucking blank. Like, thank you for telling me to read memo text. Thanks for the plate idea. You know, from Discord. You looking to make some parts? You know, this thing has a mass airflow sensor in it. I wonder if it's using it. Math meter. Hello? This is. It depends on year, make, model, and mods. What do you have? No. Yeah, that's way too risky of a thing to do. Like, you don't have any idea what the air fuel actually is. I can't smell it, feel it, taste it. I can't do anything about it. All I have is numbers on a screen. And, yeah. So sorry. Yeah. I do send base maps, but I don't do revisions, that kind of stuff. It's like if someone just does a build, they need a base map to get them from A to B so they can get their tune done or bring it to me. I do that, but that's the extent of it. All right, man. Yeah, yep. Have a good one. Oh, perfect. Gotcha. That plate idea. I wasn't sure what you meant. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, that gentleman wanted an E-tune for an 08WX. I just don't do that. Something isn't right. I don't know. Fuel pressure's off, but I should not have a VE of 80% at 14 pounds of boost. I don't know what Link did. I thought I fixed all the stuff that I didn't like that they did, but maybe I missed something. Let's go through it again. Start at the top and go through it. 4-stroke. Yeah, all that stuff's fine. Actually, let's go to the right tab. Let's go to the configuration tab. Firing order is definitely right. Otherwise, it'd making a lot of noise by now. Okay, fuel system. Engine capacity, 2 liters. Load as map. I'm using modeled equation. Sequential injection. I don't have that delay. I hate the overlay. Don't ever use it. The fuel system is map referenced. No sensor though, unfortunately. Base fuel pressure is 300 kPa. Fuel density is usually right around 720 here. In Australia, they get their fuel's a little denser, but If I made that number bigger, that would lean it out some, but not enough to fix that. That's way off. Field density, temperature coefficient. Is there an extra 0 in here or anything? No, that's right. Stoichiometric ratio is 14.17 because it's 10% blend of ethanol, or 14.13. I can go to 14.7 and that'll lean it out some, but it's not the correct stoichiometric ratio. I'll start there. It'll help some, but still, something's not right. This guy is quite a bit higher. Usually that's a 10. Why is that at 15? They have an update on that? Typical setting is 10 for gasoline. Yeah, that's what it usually is. Okay. That can make it richer, for sure. Especially 50% change in impulse width. That's just acceleration enrichment there. Injectors. 550s. Well, they're not pinks. And pinks to use, or pinks are 565s. STIs usually around 550. I definitely checked this earlier. There was nothing here, right? The top end. I didn't put anything in the accident. Nope, it's all zeros. Except for here where we actually need it. All looks fine. That's fine. That's factory. I checked it. We're not in cold start. Right? There's no startup going on. I'm not triggering some enrichment I didn't realize I've triggered. 0, 0, 0. So all those enrichments are off. All these trims are nothing. Engine fan kicked on. It didn't change anything. I'm really happy with the settings I got there. Yeah, sometimes, man. Sometimes. Although I think the number came up like Tacoma or something. So I don't think the guy was that far away, but no, you're totally on spot on with that. That does happen a lot. And I didn't even ask him for mods. Yeah, it said Port Townsend, so he was on the West Coast too. But like I do get that a lot, and it's like, yo, dude, like I can't do that. And, and he only told me what car he had. He didn't even get to the mods. So it's possible that the mods would have disqualified it too. Even if I did E-tunes, they could have been exactly that, catless and TGV-less, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's totally possible. Okay, so let's go to logging. Just keeps getting richer and richer. Where are my cams at? Let's think about my cams. They're decaying away like they should. That's all fine. All right, let's see if those changes right there made a big difference or not. Nope. Still did not. Wait, what happened there? 121.2. I wasn't there earlier. I was in the 90s. Is that where it was? I went higher this time? Am I just dumb? Is that what happened? It's about the field too. Maybe I went through that zone. I did pull a little further on that one. 96.9. Yeah, 96.9. 7.2. Still, VE should not be only 96%. And that's basically what's really bugged me right now, is VE should be higher than that. It should be 100 and something percent right now. Now this spot is 120. which is about where it should be at this point. It should be like 110, maybe as low as 106. But this thing is telling us it should be less than 90. And that just isn't right. And that isn't right. Now, the fuel table there at that point is high, right? That one's going to be 120, like it says on the tune down there, right? But if we go down to here, here's 100, here's 98, 96, and I'm still at 0.72, which is rich as balls, still rich as balls, at 97% VE, and that's just not right. Injector is already 61%. Like this right here, this number, this 90s, this should be up here at 100. And I'm not seeing anything else. Like, what the hell is, what else is there? Fuel corrections. IT correction? Has this got some weird trim in it somewhere? Oh, that's expected. It's done by TPS, which is, again, stupid. I don't know why it said TPS. I'll change that in a little while. 4D fuel table is turned off. 5D is turned off. Dual fuel is turned off. Lambda target is correct where I want it for now. All that is fine. Fuel setup is correct. Fuel main is good. I even leaned out to 14.7 to see if that helped. Didn't do a fucking thing. And did a little bit of a thing, but not enough. Injectors are set at 555s. I mean, I can make them 800s, but it would take a change like that. It would take a significant change to the injector scaling to fix that. And then my idle would need to be 80% VE. So something just is not right. You know what? I wonder if it's the map scale. This has got the USDM map. I did a map cal on it, but I did a map cal at atmospheric. And it was off a tiny, tiny bit. Let's see what the dyno is saying our boost is getting to. Maybe I'm not actually at 14 pounds. Oh yeah, dyno's saying 18 pounds of boost. Well, that's the same thing. Pretty close. Here's 200 here is around 14 to 16. It's 16 pounds of boost here because we're a pound and a half, almost 2 pounds below sea level. So that's right. But even if that was right, that means the V would have had to been higher, not lower. All right, I'm going to increase injector size and just see what happens here. 575. It's going to screw my idle and all that, but let's see what that does for a change on the top end. 3,000 miles is a cakewalk. The cars in Singapore make it, yeah, make it interesting, sure. I mean, it's possible this dude's got like modded 650s in it or something. But this car was supposed to be all stocked. Look at my Lambda. Now I'm 20% rich. in cruise, but I changed it to. Wait, why'd you say rich in cruise now? And I realized I made my injectors bigger, so I should inject longer, but 20%? Well, this is a weird one today. Six eight 7069. Look at him, he's still rich as hell. Pulling 5% out, and it's still 12%. I guess that makes sense. I'm at 118 there, so I could see that. Bring that to, but even then, it means I got to bring it all the way down to 100% VE. That just isn't right. Something isn't right. It's like the displacement is wrong or something. Really weird. It ain't making shit for power though. 226 wheel ain't nothing. But I've only got 19 degrees of timing on it at red line, so that's gonna kill it. Especially on a 2 liter. These 2 liters like way more than that. Like way more timing than that. So that's nothing. What's the knock system doing? Knox is pulling timing too, which is weird. Why would it be knocking when it's that balls rich with no timing in it? So the system might need to be tweaked a little bit. Pulled 3 degrees out there, pulled 4 degrees out there, 5 degrees almost. Probably 5 right here. Yeah, 5 degrees there. So here's a noise level. We're seeing some spikes, which would definitely look like knock with the spikes there. I wonder how old this gas is. How long has it been sitting in there in this car? When that knock occur? Right here. What's our AFR and timing there? 7.2 lambda and 13 degrees of timing with 17 pounds of boost. That seems like a stretch. It seems like knocking at that load is a stretch. We got lots of overlap in the cams right there. So it means lots of overlap flow. It's low in the RPM, so my exhaust pressure probably hasn't even exceeded intake pressure yet. I should have a positive delta to the engine. I should have tons of overlap flow and cooling flow at that point. And it just doesn't look like it. I mean, this is an experiment, right? Like, we wanted to know how does this engine perform with all the STI stuff in it. So far, not good. 226 wheel. The boost is falling off up top. I should make a significant change to the cam timing and see what that does. We'll adjust the exhaust. We'll change the exhaust timing a bunch. Not digging that mess at all, honestly. Typically, we run like -17 on a cam on an STI, but these are JDM cams, so it might not be the same. Yeah, I don't know what you did to it, so I don't know what kind of shape it's in, so or what kind of install it is, or any of that. So I wouldn't totally go off of what I'm doing here. Now that's too much. That should have been down to 20 something by then. So let's do that. But overall, I'm not really thrilled with the performance of this right now. Let's give it some more overlap there. That should help out the exhaust. If it does have excessive exhaust pressure, that'll do it. That'll be a big change in the mid-range there. All right, I picked up a whole horsepower. Yeah, a whole 1.4, man. Whew. Jesus, cranking. Let me bring up the torque on this thing. Let's see the torque difference in the mid-range, see if there is any torque difference. I lost a bunch of torque. Oh no, I gained torque. I gained torque through the mid-range. What the hell is on the line? Gained torque where I reduced the cam timing. At below 5,000, and then above it, it's the exact same. So, I picked up some torque. What happened to our air fuels? It's a tiny bit leaner, a fraction, if any. It's right here, it's a tiny bit leaner. Where I saw the gains in torque, it definitely leaned out some there. But here, none really. Even though I pulled 8 degrees out of it, didn't do shit up there. Still rich as balls. Like I said, expected with 118, but it shouldn't be 100. All right, well, let's just give it what it wants, I guess, at this point. I don't know what else there could be going on. I should put a fuel pressure sensor on it. That's what I should do. There we go. Right here. Pull 15% out of it. Because the idea of pulling 18 makes you cringe, makes you twitch. And that's just insane to think that we would need 200 kPa to get 100% VE out of this engine. That does not make sense. That does not track with reality. Unless this engine is just really, really bad. It's just choking out or something. I don't know. That is weird. Let's look at the throttle calibration. I didn't change. I checked the position calibration, but not the request. I didn't check where it was requesting. Oops. Hey, enter one, 2 times. Software is so laggy sometimes. It's really annoying. That's all good. Ain't bad. Although this is set for an STI, I'm gonna make that a full. I'm just gonna go back to 10 on it because the less displacement and the lower torque might make it less fun. It does rev kind of slow, so that's not gonna fix it. I'm gonna try and hold 240, the red line on it. I think you should be able to do it with a 2 liter. Wow, duty cycle's that low? Yeah, it's in as much boost as it is with duty cycle being slow. Yeah, I got some timing to it now, two up top. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna see what the fuel changes do first to power, and then I'll do some timing. It could be. I mean, I should be doing more, not less. That was a lot leaner. A lot leaner. Picked up 20 wheel. So I picked up 20 wheel on it. I know it threw a knockout though. I felt it pull the timing right there. Yep, that's exactly what it was. It's pulling up fuck like a timing. The question is that actual knock? And there's like no time in this thing. All kinds of fuel. Is that where I'm at? Is that where I got my selector? Yeah. General log right there. 15 degrees of timing, which is nothing at 5,800 RPM with 17 pounds of boost. Man, I have a really hard time with a lambda of 779. A really hard time believing that it's that rich with that little timing knocking. I just have a really hard time believing that, even with slightly higher compression ratio. This fuel must be old as shit. Or the customer put crappy fuel in it, you know? Like you could have 87 in this tank. I don't know. I don't even know how old it is, but I am not impressed with this at all. Considering that the freaking Nox is pulling 10 degrees of timing on it. I pulled 5 degrees, I mean. Pulled all 5 degrees. Like it's most of the run it was pulling timing. And it's a 2 liter, 8 hertz. It's a little low for the frequency, like 8 kilohertz is a little low. Typically they're gonna be like maybe 9 kilohertz. But even then, like I don't know, that seems weird. I'm gonna ask Lane how old I gotta take a leak. So I'm gonna take a leak and ask Lane how old this gas is in this car. How long has this car been sitting here? Because it's got a half a tank fuel though. So it's like it had a ton of air volume in there. It's half tank now, and I know he drove around before, and then I got dyno time on it. So, but I mean, look at it, it's pulling 3, 5, 3, 3. Like it's pulling a lot of timing out. 17.4 mission table. Where's that table? Is that showing my table or is it telling my final value? Yeah, so it should be, that's basically the table value then. That's not what it's pulled total timing for that cylinder. So the cylinders have even less timing. They have basically 13 to 15 degrees of timing. at this point at 6,400. That right? Really? That much? Yeah, that spot there. 6,400's got 13 degrees of timing on it. That ain't right. There ain't a 2 liter in the world with 10.5 to 1 compression that would do that. So either this engine's making noise, I gotta adjust the knock system, or something's going on. You would think with those spikes that was knock, right? I have this background noise level, and then I get a spike, and I get a spike. You'd think that's knock. That's what anyone seeing that would say, especially when we're talking a value that's 10 times of the background, right? What we got? So we'll do the yellow one. 7 and background is 1. So, 6 times the background. It's 1.28. But man, when it pulls that timing, the torque just dives off. All right, I'm gonna take a leak. I'm gonna leave my mic here though, so you guys don't hear that. And then I'm gonna go ask Lane about the carb on the fuel, and I'll go back in a minute. What was that?
The Legacy drive's okay. It just sucks a big fat one when it's cold.
Like it sucks to move it still?
And it's like fucking horrible throttle response and all sorts of stuff. Once it's warm, it's fine.
What do you mean? Like when you're trying to idle it, or
No, when you're trying to accelerate it all, it's fucking shakes.
like drive it cold? Oh, well, we didn't tune
I
it.
drove the shit out of it yesterday. Not in boost, but like drove it around the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So just cruising around.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't tune it.
Up to the RPM,
Cold
down
and-
to the RPM. No boost or anything.
So when do you want to put on the dyno?
Just driving around.
When do you want to put on the dyno so we can actually tune it?
That would require taking this off,
Correct.
which I don't really want to do.
I mean, it doesn't take that long.
Huh?
Doesn't take that long.
No, it just I want to finish this one.
Well, we gotta drain the gas out. It's been sitting for 2 years, apparently. So that makes a little more sense. But even if they're draining it out, then we gotta fill it up. So I mean, 2-year-old pump gas would explain the knock, but it wouldn't explain the VE being so far off. That last pull, the power is actually quite good considering this car's on a stock downpipe with cats and everything. So if it would have finished the pull without knocking, it would have made 270 wheel on the stock downpipe with still only 18 degrees of timing programmed into it, commanded into it. That would have been something. That would have been really good. So some guy with your LGT, I wouldn't be worried yet. See what happens. I mean, 2-year-old fuel will definitely cause some problems. And yeah, if you put fresh fuel in it and this timing stays, even where it's programmed right now without any knock, it's going to pick up 30 freaking wheel. And it's a 2-liter, so in theory, I could break 300 wheel on this dyno with it. Can't do it on a 2.5. They just fucking won't do it. But the 2-liters, they can do it. And maybe this thing will. Let me kill this. Yeah, that boost held 16.5 to red line now instead of diving off like it did before. Torque is up. Everything is up. And if the timing hadn't got pulled, torque would have stayed up. And this thing would have made, let's see what the curve was going towards. Yeah, it would have made 275. Easy. 275. And that is significant on this dyno. Let's see if at 9 kilohertz if it changes the sound levels at all. And then we'll take the gas out and do it over. Hey, the big difference there. Look at that. I pulled a lot less timing out. Being at 9, still had that event, so still pulled 5 degrees out of cylinder 4. And then I started pulling out of a few of them up top. Pulled less overall though, but still pulled some. And picked up like 15 wheel. And it feels way close to the target. Look at that. It's actually on target, right, through most of it. Except for the fact that I don't like that it's at 101% VE. But still, drastic improvement. Fuel is hitting targets pretty closely. Timing, 13.
Chase is grabbing 5 gallons of 92.
Okay.
I'll hook up the return and
Start draining it now. Let me go to the knock frequency calculator, see if they have it on this one. I think they do. Which one is it again? It's based on your bore. Oh, this is telling you actually, see, that's fucking cool. No, it's off. He says that I look up this fuel sprayed all over the windshield. Is the key on? Fuel's all over the windshield. It just boiled out of the rail. I know they had this on here. Oh, that's using something else. Anything? You want me to start it? I'd say you pull the top one. Say what? The top one's feed. So is that the problem I'm having? The fuel pressure's off? My VE is totally wrong on the fuel map. I've been fighting it the whole time. Well, take them both off. We'll see which one the fuel comes out of the firewall.
well, it's got that quadruple regulator bypass itself, which is another.
Yeah, I know, but we can still see which one it comes out of. Are they both off or one off? So the feed is supposed to be that one. Anything?
Yeah.
Which one?
The feed.
Okay, that's the right one. That goes on the top. And then the return, this one's return.
But will it be on this hose too if I leave that open?
Yeah. Because the GRs are dumb. Because it's just a deadhead.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, these are deadhead systems. They loop the fuel system to be in parallel, but it's just deadheaded.
It's just deadheaded before the rail.
Yeah. Oh, can you use this one?
Can you just trigger fuel pump on?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a link. I can just turn the fuel pump on.
Yeah.
I don't have to run it. Factory ECU, obviously we gotta run the fucking thing. Yeah.
Where the hose at? Oh, I gotta go the other way. I gotta go get mail.
Okay. I mean, do you have the hose pincher offer plier thingies? Okay. I was thinking, This is a supply. If you pinch this off right here, then it won't come out anywhere. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Probably landing in line with the battery cable.
Woof. All right, I need to plug in my laptop. I've been having it unplugged this whole time because I wanted to run the battery down some. Because I want to just keep plugging in at 60%. I want to use the battery on. What are we at? Oh, I'm still at 39%. Oh, there we go. My fuel smells funny. I got a big face full of it. Yeah, see, I don't have a microphone. I have a knock block though at home. I could get it and plug it in. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't think the stream shows that window. Wait, the stream's way behind. When did that happen? Weird. Is it because I walked away, my laptop went into save mode or something? Hmm. Stock or EJ20 is 6.2. I'll think about this for a minute. I think I went the wrong way with the knock. I think 6 is where I'm supposed to go. Let's see. Okay. Knock frequency calculator based on the bore. Knock frequency calculator. Six point two. Yeah, God damn it. So I want the second order of 6.2. Super engine is so fucking noisy. Running the first order is hard to do because it's also in the same range as the valves and everything else. So I want second order. If it's 92.5 millimeter bore, it gives me a. I can't put a decimal. Okay, it's 93 then. 93. Also 6.2. Okay. So that means 12.4 is technically where I should go. went the wrong way. But I was moving towards the second order, which explains why the talk and non-detection went down a smidge. I got it. Connect first. I got to connect first. It took a while to connect.
Yeah.
Is it running?
Yep. Nothing's coming out the other line either. It smells very ethanol-y.
It does, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? It's still running? Okay. Is it like moving a lot of fuel?
Pretty good.
Like high speed?
If we can turn it up, I don't know.
I think I can.
More is better. Well, that changed it.
Up or down?
I don't know.
Okay, 1 second.
I did see a change though, whatever you did. Looks like it might be more.
It's not giving me the option to change the duty cycle, just the frequency.
You live streaming it
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
I mean, 270 pulling that much is pretty good. I don't know if it was 274 or 277. I don't remember.
What you saw? It was still pulling time in the top end too.
Yeah. And this should make better up top anyway.
Right. Should make a little more at least, in theory.
Do you have a boost pressure on that?
Yeah, it's right there. So it's like 17.5 peak down to 15.5 at redline.
How does it compare to like a stock 2.5 full one?
Oh, laggy as fuck.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, stock 2.5, I'll have full boost like 2,700. This isn't coming until 4,700.
Really?
Yeah. It's really bad. And I fucked with the cams, and I've done a bunch of things trying to get it to be faster, and it's not. The thing I didn't do was add a bunch of ways to get duty cycle down low to time it come in faster, which I'm going to do as soon as I get everything else figured out and see if we get a little bit of spool, but it ain't good. Torque's not terrible. I'll show you torque.
That's a little disappointing.
Torque's not terrible. I mean, it's got 190 foot-pounds at 32. It's like no boost. Torque's pretty flat from 3 to red line, you know. If we can keep the timing in it, then flatter up here. So that part's not terrible, but...
Well, that's about 57's about when it starts pulling timing anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once it fixes the timing pull, it'll be pretty flat. But yeah, it's not spooling very fast.
Maybe timing down low doesn't make difference.
It happens a little bit.
I mean, is it not on this one?
Yeah, I haven't done it. I mean, the timing I gave it, which was more than a 2.5 liter. I think I have like 4 or 6 degrees more than a 2.5 liter in the low load areas, like in that region there. But up top, it's not because it's pulling. But yeah, I play with the cams and try to get it to spool a little better, but it just isn't. I got like 5 different, like I did different cam settings down here. One of them did a little better at one point, but I think it was a fluke. Right there, that one. That one did better, but I think that one's a fluke. I'm not sure about that one.
You know, I was thinking it'd be cool. Like a Subaru flying lead harness to like an Amphenol connector. So like a 8-foot long EJ harness.
To do what?
That we could just put in chassis, just power ground, run it. Like fuel pump control, power ground, like really simple to wire into like one of the ship chassis out there that we have.
For what again? I'm
We're just
confused.
testing stuff. So we have a chassis to test things on.
You want to do what with it?
Do 20X stuff or like whatever we want.
Just
this new
just
thing.
an engine lead with a.
Yeah. Basically, be like an engine dyno, but it's just in a car. We just plug in like whatever base links that we can, whatever the cheapest thing we can that will operate everything appropriately.
Right.
And just have like an ECU laying on the ground over there with all wiring going to the engine, so the car's not even part of the system. Or at least not part of the chassis of the vehicle, I would say.
No, I understand. The chassis harness isn't doing shit for us.
Hmm?
The chassis harness isn't affecting anything. It's just
No, exactly.
ECU to engine. I get it now.
Just make a dual AVCS harness up there, and then just have you just not use it or use it, depending on if we're using dual AVCS or not. Or quad AVCS.
I mean, for that matter, you could just leave an ECU and a harness hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And just drop a harness on the engine and fucking tune on the ECU.
Be sweet.
On any car at that point, if we needed to for some reason. If something was wonky. Like the legacy timing thing, we're like, all right, the fuck. What can this thing really do? That's what it can do.
Oh, that is, yeah.
You know.
Could do that. Eliminate the chassis and see if there's an issue still.
Anton says offer an engine break-in on the stand.
Huh?
Anton says offer engine break-in on a stand. That kind of thing, though, right? We have the engine harness already set up on the wall. You could fire the engine up, run it in, do the cam break-in even.
Well, if we did that, we could take it to Big Northwest and have a running EJ on a stand all day. Just let it sit there and idle all day. Have people rev it, put an e-throttle next to it. Put it on some like really light.
I say, well, if we did that, we could use the M-Tron and the keypad, and I could put different modes in it on the M-Tron, and then let's punch in the anti-lag. Boop, let's do the rolling anti-lag, right? So whatever RPM they hold it on, it'll hold it.
Have a throttle pedal sitting
yeah, they could do that.
Keypad,
that'd be cool. And then
people would love that shit.
Just put a speed sensor on the flywheel for vehicle speed.
Be funny. People would love that shit. You should have seen the line waiting outside the X shift. The ZF design guys waiting for them to hit the CO2 on the X shift. Was it spinning or was it just hitting dry? No, it was just hitting gears. But dry with no input spinning? Yeah. That's so bad for the gears. It's just a test bed. Yeah. But like if he'd put like just a little electric motor to turn it even like 50 RPM, that would have been better for it. Would have been cool to display too. Because you watch the tail shaft go faster and faster and faster. People loved it though. Put a little sword on the end of it, and if you get too close, just pitch your arm off. Massive line out there watching it. Just to go. Oh, that's funny because I was just about to say we'll get Mike Sequential, toss it on the stand, and people will be like with it. Or like a prop on it or something. Yeah, well, fucking, I've done that. We had that at MPS. That'd be a problem. We had the whole the fuselage chopped off behind the seats with our power plant on it and a propeller, and we'd fire it up at shows and stuff.
and drag this around. So we had wheels on it, little casters.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It'd be cool. Build a little engine stand. You just two-step an EJ out there all day.
And you do a fuel pump thing.
Get a little air bubbly.
Yeah, do you want to restore the system to normal?
Yep.
Hook the lines back up. I'll turn back on again. That way it can suck from the other side of the tank. I'm not even going to start it, but just switch, put them back on, and then we'll leave this for a few minutes, and then we'll put it back on the can again. We'll do this for a few minutes. We'll put it back on the can again. I'm not starting it. I'm not starting it. I'm just letting it run.
How's that pump start running?
I think good. He's done some stuff to it.
What's that?
Come on, Link software. Seriously, let's go. I'm fighting this fucking software. It's so laggy. Like you give an input to the software, and it's like, what? It's like it's stoned all the time. What'd you say? Oh yeah, bro. Hold on a second. Let me find that.
Or have you seen that clip about Jeremy Clarkson's test driving a vehicle? I don't remember. He was talking about the flappy paddle gearboxes. He's like, this is the worst one I've ever driven. He's like, it's almost like when you change gear, it forgot that it's a gearbox. It's like, am I a calculator? Am I a computer? Oh, I'm a gearbox. Change gear. Like it forgot what it was.
That sounds like a lot of those autos, like the Chevy ones, are so bad. Like the 6L80s, you're like, actually, you push forward to shift up, and then wait. They're so bad. I remember when I got my first Beamer, that 335 in 07, and I was like, oh yeah, these are fucking good. Wait, what?
Wait, hold on.
Hold on to it.
Hit the down.
Yeah, I hit it downshift. I'm like, what? I hit it upshift. Like, oh wow, that's responsive. I've been used to GM and Ford autos forever. American-made automatic transmissions that just suck dick. They're so bad. And then you hit a button, like you nail it, and you want to shift to 6,000, you got to hit it at 48 because it's going to take forever to get up there. Up, and then it shifts. Make it sing dubstep. It's not a Tesla coil. I don't recall how long you have to hold or turn off the vehicle for the fuel gauge to update. I know they have a buffer on it that stops it from updating too quickly, so if you hit bumps and stuff, then that needle's not doing this. But in my opinion, Subaru made that buffer way too fucking long. But you got to give it time, put the key off, or it won't update the fuel tank position. Yeah, it's still not doing it. But I mean, we just drained half the tank out. God damn, this software sucks! Like we drain the fuel until it spit bubbles, and it still says it's the same level. It says it's a sliver less than it was earlier, and clearly that's not the case. I'm waiting for it to update. Just drops. Anyways, this is probably boring as shit now, so I'm just gonna cut it off because this will be a while. I don't know how far Chase is from getting fuel and all that stuff. I'm not gonna make you guys just sit here and listen to me ramble on about stupid shit. Unless somebody's got a good question, I can answer. Something I could teach is in the next 15 minutes before I leave for my appointment. I didn't like.
There you go. I got my brakes.
Who's that dude?
Huh?
Who's that guy?
Matt or something, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's not Jason.
No. Matt's the one with his name on the phone number and everything.
Gotcha. Are they good?
Huh?
Are they good?
I mean, all the pictures are good. He had a bunch of pictures of them.
That's very nice.
But
That's
he
sweet.
dropped them off there. I paid him this morning, and he told me he'd let me know when he dropped them off. He sent me this. When did he send me that? Oh, 11:42. Literally just a second ago.
Sweet.
So, perfect.
I'll start it for a second.
That's awesome.
How much came out? What's that noise? It doesn't sound good.
The brand new V11.
Doesn't sound right.
That would explain the lagginess, because it doesn't make sense. It was unopened off of like a 2018 SCI.
So, a 54.
Yeah, never took the housings off or anything, just straight.
Did you guys change the oil line on this thing? Oh no, it's a 20X.
I changed it from the 257 because it's different. For the twin scroll, it has a different feed line. So I just took everything from the 257 and swapped it over.
The factory 257 oil line too. Did you verify it wasn't full of metal and clogged?
I
Oh,
flushed
okay.
it all out.
Is it pinched off or anything? It's not pinched or anything that you knew of?
Took the filter out of it.
Yeah, that turbo doesn't sound good.
No. Sounds swirly.
Is it not getting oil?
No, I was getting oil because I had the oil line loose on accident when I primed it and it fucking peed everywhere. I just hand threaded it in, forgot it, tightened everything up, and then moved on.
Could it have sucked something in? Maybe the factory filter or something?
Because I thought when I was driving it around, it felt pretty good. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's pretty laggy. And it's gotten laggier during the tune. It's gotten worse.
It makes sense.
I think you can actually follow the colors of lines down to the right. Starting from the bottom at the gray, then purple, then orange, then blue. With a few exceptions, it looks
Can
like
you just go to manifold on there? Oh, this manifold printer?
it's right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other lines too.
Yeah, it's all the different runs, the manifold pressure. No. Is there a none?
Whatever purple was wasn't too bad. You see, it came in here.
I mean, it still ain't great. I don't know. 10 pounds at 32 is not bad. 10 pounds at 32 is not bad. It's still 10 pounds at 3,200. Is that right? Is that right line?
Yeah, 3250.
Yeah, almost. That's not bad. I guess I misspoke. I could probably tweak that a little more. Just maybe CS and stuff. But that doesn't sound weird.
Yeah, I guess that was good. That help?
I mean, it could. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community standards. Do what we say. Can we start it? That makes sense. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. We run the fuel pump for a long time. Sorry, guys. I was yelling in his ears. It makes sense. We run the fuel pump with the engine not running, so the battery is going to drop down. We fire it up. Alternator's got a lot of load to pick up for the.
I was going to say, because the
battery.
turbo didn't sound like anything. It sounded perfectly normal.
Oh, you're like,
a little bit of whirring, no weirdness, no vibration. I was like, what in the hell? And I was like, I still hear it audibly. And then I like moved my head around. I was like, man, it's definitely something. I put it on the alternator, and it's exactly the same as what we hear, but just isolated.
Makes sense because we had the key on, run the fuel pump 100% for a while.
Yep.
Hey, that's fucking bunch of fuel to his face. Want to put the can back on it now?
Yep.
I need to give a shout out to Drew for detailing my truck. The inside of it, not the outside. Outside's a fucking waste of time. But I got paint flaking off and rust forming, that kind of shit on the truck on the outside. But inside, that's where you sit, and do your thing. So he detailed inside of my truck, in my 220,000-mile truck, looked like a 30,000-mile truck. So I can't bitch about that. And he didn't even shampoo the seats or anything either. He could have, if I wanted him to put that much time into it, but I didn't. He just made it look really good. But Really, I think that's all that we could have done to make it look better. We just shampoo a couple spots in the seats. Otherwise, he just nailed it. It's good. Drew's detailing. If anyone's in this area, need something done. Drew is the one. Boy, I'm hungry. Come on, software. Can you please do something that I ask? It's like a 4-second delay. I wonder what prime time keep in here. You do like a maximum 25 seconds. Okay. That's a long time. Let's put this on off. Store that. Oh my god. Fuck you. Takes so long. 25. Let's do 25 seconds. I just want to see if the fuel flow is more on the prime than it is on the test. That's the same. I hit enter like 4 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago. Go down. Enter 1, 2, 3, enter. Hey, the enter went through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there you go. Now I get that response. Man, it was just laggy as shit. It's almost like the software needs a GTX 3080 to run. I don't know if it's just bad at resource management or what, but man, it is so laggy all the time. All my laptops are the same way. Lane! Don't light a match. Do we have another one? You got another can? Right there? I was like, man, I smell a lot of fuel right now. I get out, I'm like, ah!
You know what's funny is I was in there eating going, I really smell it.
Well, we got the fans running, so
Don't start it.
I won't. All right, I gotta go. I got my appointment. Luckily, it's just down the road, but I have to go. I will resume the stream when we get to tune this thing again when I get back. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hope that you didn't mind hanging out. All right. I got an appointment, and then I'll be back, like I said, in like an hour. And by then, this thing should be empty with old fuel and full of new fuel. And we'll get to see what she can do with fresh fuel. and see what kind of problems I have, because I'm sure there'll be something. It's still a Subaru, you know.